Ah, hell. I'm in the wrong game again.
Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming, and some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you with another Let's Play episode of Echo, Flynn's Path. So y'all, we're about to meet Flynn's roommates. Let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm Chan, you are up, and let's go. Here we go. Alright. He's new to Echo. You probably like him. He's a... Can't say that within the first... certain number of seconds. He's a big effing nerd. I hop out, the pavement warm against my pads even though the sun is setting. It looks nice, kind of like a smaller version of Carl's house. Carl's mansion, you mean. On the way up to the door, I feel his thick tail bump against my own, though it's soft enough that I'm not sure if it's on purpose. As I go inside, I'm hit with a blast of warm air that's not much different than what's inside. I air out my shirt. Flynn notices and chuckles. Sorry, but you better get used to it if you want to hang around with the Gila. As I follow Flynn into the kitchen, the smell is a bit strange as well. Kind of like sagebrush, which isn't a bad thing at all. Oh, that you, Flynn? Yeah, I have a friend over. Oh, one of your reunion friends? Flynn opens the fridge. We have many green peppers left? I hear a sliding door from the hallway and turn around to see a somewhat startling sight. A tall lizard comes in, but it's not his height that surprises me, but rather his coloring. Spotted blue with pale eyes. I didn't realize he's a salamander, not a reptile. I suppose I'd seen brightly colored amphibians in Pueblo, but definitely not Echo, and not even in Peyton. There's a smile on his face, and I try hard not to stare. Dax, this is Chase. Hello, Chase. Hi. I reach out to his offered hand before feeling the cool, almost slippery sensation of his skin. Yeah, sorry, I know you guys aren't used to salamanders around here. I cringe inwardly as I realize he'd caught me staring like a dumbass. Oh, no, I don't mind. Mind? Me being a salamander? I'm mortified, but he's still smiling. Alright, Chase, enough making a fool out of yourself. Flynn is tossing ingredients onto the counter. Peppers, cheese, eggs. He can't help it if he's not used to it. Well, he's always bragging about going to college. Sometimes it serves you better if you just get out more. I'm not sure what to say at this point, but Dax saves me from having to try. Oh, please. Daxton sits next to me on a stool, that warm smile still plastered to his face. Yeah, Flynn here was trying to sweet-talk a hyena a few months back. I see Flynn tense up before he turns around, pointing a knife threateningly at the salamander. Don't you dare. Referred to him as a canine. Like, isn't that something basic you learn in school? Wow, Flynn, really? Flynn turns back around with a huff. Sometimes you forget shit. He's trying to play it off, but I can see the frills on the back of his head flaring out. He didn't care anyway. We fucked, so fuck off. Daxton rolls his eyes before getting up and airing out his shirt like I did earlier. Well, I'm going back to my side of the house. It's a friggin' sauna over here. He pats me on the shoulder as he passes. Nice meeting you, Chase. I watch as he heads back down the hallway, sliding shut the door. It's colder on that side of the house? Yeah, dual habitat residence. I look longingly over at Dax's side of the house. Get your ass over here so I can teach you how to cook something. The next hour is surprisingly fun, even though half of it is spent with Flynn yelling at me about how wrong I'm doing stuff. He calls it chili rellenos. Oh, I love chili rellenos. Peppers filled with cheese and meat and covered in egg before being fried. I have to agree with Flynn that it's way better than the diner food, even though the food over there is still pretty good. When we finish, Flynn dumps the dishes in the sink with a clatter before snatching me up by the arm. Hey! Shut up, Chase. I frown, but allow myself to be dragged down the hallway to what I presume is the lizard's room. It's small and simple, but what I'm most focused on is a fairly large bed. He pulls me in to make room to shut the door before pressing me back against it and kissing me full on the mouth. Ho-ho-ho! I open my mouth the moment his tongue prods at my lips. I'm not used to the feeling of something so thin and flexible sliding into my mouth, but it's not bad feeling. His long tongue easily entangles my smaller one. At the same time, his hands grab the bottom of my shirt and pulls it over my head, breaking our kiss. As I lean back against the wall, Flynn's eyes play over my body, clearly drinking it in. 1 second, y'all. Let me save. Oh my. Are these two finally gonna get it on? I narrow my eyes. Hey, you've already seen me naked. I reach forward, undoing his belt with quick, jerky movements. Flynn doesn't resist and instead stands there, smirking down at me. I give him a smirk in return as I rest my hands on his hips before slowly sliding them down, pushing the pants down with them. As his tail slides out of the rear, I move my hands around to feel his ass as the pants slide further down. His thick tail twitches in response before I squeeze his soft rear, earning a gasp from the lizard. I'm so preoccupied with his backside that I almost forget the front. That's when the pants finally drop to the floor and I find myself face to face with Flynn's cock. I almost go cross-eyed, staring at the tapered tip. I hear the lizard chuckle above me as he sways his hips, bobbing his length in front of my nose. What's that face? It's like you've never seen a dick before. I clamp my muzzle around it, egged on by Flynn's teasing. His hands immediately go to my head, steadying himself as he finally shuts up. I take it all in, almost gagging on the length. Leo is the only other guy I've blown, and he's basically the opposite compared to Flynn. While he was shorter and thicker, what's in my mouth now is now long and thin. I start to bob my head back and forth, suddenly self-conscious, worried that a pro like Flynn might see me for the complete amateur that I am. His reaction, though, says otherwise. He grunts and groans, hip bucking and pressing into my mouth each time I pull back. I look up at his face, and I'm surprised to see him looking right back down at me. His eyes are slits, his mouth hanging open as he gasps. I blush and look back down, focusing instead on his lithe stomach, his faint abs standing out just a bit more with each thrust. For the next 5 minutes, the only sound is a gasping breath from the lizard and the occasional thump of my head against the door. Flynn breathlessly apologizes each time. As it goes on, though, I can feel the muscles in his legs start to tense up. Fuck, it's coming. Do you want me to pull out? Flynn must be pent up. It always took Leo at least 10 minutes before he came from a blowjob, if at all. I feel Flynn tense and start to step back, but I slide my hands up his thighs, squeeze his ass again, keeping him firmly in place. If Flynn is still trying to pull back, he runs out of time because I feel his length jump in my mouth. Oh, fuck! Flynn doubles over me sharply, his head slamming against the door as I take him all the way in and start sucking. His thin body shakes against me, and I try not to smirk as I feel his clawed feet brush my knees as they dance around in ecstasy. I glance up at him again and see the top of his head and a hand pressed to the door. His eyes are squeezed shut and his teeth are bared as he hisses through them. His other hand is gripping tightly onto my head furrow, with each suck he grips tighter. After about 3 spurts, his twitching dick finally settles on my tongue. While Flynn is definitely quicker to come, it isn't quite as much as Leo, so I have no trouble getting it all down. I see his stomach rise and fall in front of me as he sags and gasps against the door. Oh, fuck, Chase. I didn't know what you did, but... fucker! In the middle of his sentence, I give his softening cock another suck. He yanks my head back with a hand on my head, his slick dick bobbing from my mouth. I grin, but then gasp as I'm yanked up to my feet. Flynn turns with me towards the bed, made difficult by the pants around his ankles, and shoves me backwards onto the mattress. He grins at me as he slides his shirt back over his shoulders. Now, it's your turn. Oh my. I lay on my side, head on Flynn's chest while his arm is wrapped around me, his hand stroking my shoulder. I rub his smooth stomach in big, wide circles, making sure to get every inch of it. I occasionally face the outline of his chest as it rises and falls before dipping down low, almost touching his semi-erect member. He doesn't seem to be in the mood for another go, though, so I'm content to just lay there and listen to his deep breaths. What's wrong with me wanting to know what happened? I pause in my rubbing, resting my paw in the middle of his stomach. He tenses it for a second, so I continue the rubbing. Nothing. I guess that's how you go about doing it, he grunts. Doesn't matter how I do it. He's gonna be upset. Might be easier if you try to go at it more delicately. Flynn takes a deep breath, and I watch my hand rise and fall with it. He's hiding something. You know it too. I don't say anything. We lay like that for a while, Flynn breathing softly onto my ear as his fingers creep over my arm to tease at a nipple. Everyone does, but they still treat me like I'm some sort of monster for wanting to know. I press down suddenly, and he grunts loudly into my ear as he tenses up against my hand again. You don't really think what you did at the river was appropriate? Ow! Looks like it, y'all. I cringe as Flynn pinches my nipple. He doesn't say anything, though, and we lay in the silence for a while longer. Sydney didn't deserve that. I swallow. No. I mean, I know he was a dick, but he came from a rough place. I just listen, not wanting to say something wrong. Flynn never opened up like this. You guys didn't know him like I did. I stop rubbing and turn my head to look up at Flynn. His eyes are wide, staring up at the ceiling. Chase, I need to find out what happened. Flynn. No, I'm sick of wondering. I'm sick of imagining. He looks down at me suddenly, and the expression on his face is strange. I'm gonna talk to him again. Who, TJ? I hear my voice rise in concern. He doesn't say anything. Flynn. I sit up. Don't do that. He glares at me. Yeah? Why not? This is probably the last chance I'll get. But... I try to think of something to say. Nothing good will come out of it. If he hasn't said anything until now, then he probably never will. We'll see about that. The implication in his voice sends a chill down my spine. Flynn! Lizard looks away from me. What? I'm not gonna do anything, just talk. And if he doesn't say anything? Flynn stares at the wall. Then I guess that's that, but I want to talk to him without Leo there to coddle him like he's some little kid. I put my face in my hands and rub slowly. I know Flynn would never want to hurt TJ, but he can get so emotional. What if TJ says the wrong thing? Just let me go with you when you do. Flynn turns his head to look back at me. Why? I just want to be there to keep things grounded. Flynn stares hard at me. Maybe. He likes you, so maybe that'll be good. He continues to stare at me, and I feel a little uncomfortable. What? You just have to promise one thing. What? I say it a bit more slowly. Don't get in the way. Don't try to defend him, even if he's acting all sad and shit. I look back at him, unsure of what I'll say. I don't want TJ to get hurt, and just the thought of this confrontation is making me feel sick. But I don't want him to be alone when this happens either. The thought of telling one of the others, Jenna or Leo, comes to mind, but I know that'll be a fucking catastrophe if I do. That would be the end of a lot of friendships. Still left a chance that they would survive. Either way, I'm going to have to promise him if I want a chance to go along. But whether or not I keep that promise... Tell the truth. Lie, tell the truth, lie, tell the truth, lie, tell the truth. Shit, okay. Let's save this part. Okay. I promise, but only if it doesn't get physical. Flynn's eyes narrow. What? He continues to stare at me like he's trying to see something behind me. What? I'm not lying. Flynn gives his signature snort and closes his eyes again. It won't. I look at him skeptically, deciding not to remind him about what happened at the river. I sigh and stare at my naked balls for a moment, feeling a little strange. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, maybe take a shower. Alright. I get up onto unsteady feet and head into the hallway, wondering if I should try. Oh. Well, hello there, handsome. What's wrong with you? Huh. That was weird. Thursday. I open my eyes blurrily, waking up to the sound of something pounding in the distance. I stare at the ceiling a moment, then abruptly prop myself up on my elbows, looking around, confused. Where the hell... Oh, yeah. Flynn's room. I'd fallen asleep on Flynn's bed, naked after taking a shower. Turns out that lizards don't have dryers, so I was left to air dry. I was tired, so Flynn had me lay out on his bed on a few towels, and that's where I am right now. Guess I fell asleep. Again, the pounding. Look over to my right and see Flynn curled up, his back facing me. I think he's naked as well for a moment, then I see he's got his boxer briefs on, the black color blending in with his skin. Reach over to poke the rough skin of his scaly back. The frills on the back of his neck flare out for a second, and then lay back down. I almost do it again, but Flynn's grumpy, annoyed as hell tone stops me. What? I clear my throat. Sorry, but it sounds like... I don't have to say it because the pounding starts back up again, echoing up the hallway. What the fuck? Flynn pushes himself up into a sitting position, squinting at the hallway through the door. What time is it? Flynn rolls off the bed and starts putting on a shirt. I grab my phone, glad to see that it's still at half charge. It's 9. At the same time, I notice that I have texts, several of them, from Leo. Shit. What? Flynn hops around the room as he tries to pull on some pants. My eyes scan over the text, realizing who it likely is that's knocking on the door. The messages started about 2 hours ago. Hey, I was at the motel and you aren't there. Jenna says she doesn't know where you are either. She says you didn't spend the night there. You and Flynn are the only ones not answering my messages. Are you at his house? Hello? I feel my stomach go into a knot. Fuck! Flynn whirls on me, annoyed, now fully dressed. The knocking has stopped, but I'm still uneasy about what I've just found out. I think it's Leo. What? This time Flynn sounds panicked. He's been texting me all morning. He thinks I'm here now. I show Flynn my screen, but he barely looks at it. He's got his arms folded, his mind clearly racing. You know we can't find out that I've spent the night here. I try to keep my voice under control. I know. Yeah, we both know. Things are basically over between Leo and I. That doesn't change the fact that this will bring up all kinds of problems in our little friend group. Flynn paces for a few seconds, then turns back to me. Well, he's gone now. I can just get Carl to say that you spent the night at his... He already texted Carl. Shit! Flynn groans and hangs back his head. Well, he did ask you if you spent the night there. Well, did he ask you if you spent the night there? No, just that he didn't know where I am. At least that's what he said in the text. I'll just tell him I don't know and Carl can say you were there. Don't you think Carl would have told... Flynn suddenly reaches out, grabbing my shoulder and throwing me sideways onto the bed. I stare at him wide-eyed, but he's not looking at me. Instead, he's staring at the window behind me. What? He throws his hand out in my face, silencing me. Flynn moves to the window, and that's when I notice a big shadow shifting around out there. I scramble to the other side of the bed, heart hammering in my chest. Did he see me? The curtain is covering most of the window, but the foot-long gap at the end is just enough to look in. Flynn starts pantomiming in front of the window, shrugging his shoulders and shaking his head. Finally, he drops his arms to the side and leans in to crack the window open. What the hell are you doing? Why the hell didn't you answer your door? Leo's voice is angry. Honestly, a lot more angry than I would have expected despite the situation. I just woke up. I was knocking for like 5 fucking minutes. I'm a heavy sleeper. You're dressed and everything. I just got dressed. Most people don't go peeking into windows when they don't get an answer, though. Flynn glares through the window. I quietly roll off the bed so I can hide better, even if I'm not in view of the window from here. Hey, listen, I'm just looking for Chase. Have you seen him? No. Flynn shifts his position a bit in my direction, as if trying to block Leo's view. Looking for something? Yeah, Chase. Well, he ain't here. Why would he be? He stayed behind with you at the party, didn't he? Yep, then ran off to do some project or something. There's a long pause. Oh, Chica, can I come in for a second? I need a drink. What? Go back to your house, man. You saying you don't want me to come in? Flynn sighs loudly, rubbing his eyes. I'm saying I'm tired. It's 10 in the fucking morning. It's 9, but yeah, sometimes I stay up late. Why? Flynn lowers his head from his eyes and glares out at Leo. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there. Oh, man. Ooh, they just about got caught. Anyway, y'all, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Leave a super thanks or a tip if you can. It always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.